Hey everybody, welcome to the last day of Prime Day. And Brandon, I am so shocked you're able to arrive. It was a long day. How many hours were we live?
Just over 9 hours, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And thank you to all the viewers who made it on yesterday. I guess they just enjoyed themselves. I have to say, I was quite surprised at the number of people who work remotely, right? And were listening. And it was great to see all the guests we've had. Many of the guests we've never had before, like Artings was an awesome surprise. I really enjoyed Alex as a guest for sure. Or wait, ratings. See, I have to catch myself.
Again?
I said it again.
Like,
oh man. But yeah, I wanted to do this wrap up because apparently there are still some deals left that I wanted to go over with everybody. And maybe if you guys are still looking for deals and these deals apply to you, we'll go through them real quick. It's not going to be a very long live stream because we both might pass out sooner rather than later. So
well, people are going to start asking the questions though.
I know at the end, right? So yeah, if you guys are still wanting to pull the trigger on different TVs, let us know, definitely. So today we're going to go over what deals, TV deals, I think are good deals, right? Not just regular discounts, but the good TV deals are still available. And HDMI TV cables, this is a great time to get it because, they're normally 15 to 25. If you get them for under $10, hey, you're part of Prime Day, you have some savings. And these are the ones that I have, right? So I'm going to try to combine a cable review in there that I didn't get a chance to yesterday. And soundbars and speakers. So there's a lot of inexpensive soundbars that for those who just want to up the game a little bit. They don't want to spend a lot, so we have some very affordable soundbars and what I think is a premium soundbar that is still discounted. So we'll go over that real quick. Wall mounts. These are the wall mounts that Mike's Gadget World and we have the same wall mount. I love these wall mounts. They're still on sale. And then what I bought yesterday and what I might buy. So we'll jump.
I'm gonna chime in on that too. Yeah, I saw one that I didn't like. So I'll tell you which one it is. But okay, the main one you guys were talking about was awesome. So we'll no worries. It's a minimal.
Oh yeah. And I don't have that one.
I'll tell you when we get there. Don't worry about it.
Okay, awesome. I look forward to that. All right, let me push this up real quick. And I know y'all got answers, so questions. So hold on your questions. We'll definitely get to them. Here we go.
Or ask now. It's fine.
Or ask now. Yeah, whatever. Definitely whatever.
FOMO does all this hard work. You guys got to hook them up.
Okay, these are the two TV deals that are still available, right? So specifically, if you're looking for the X950H 75-inch, there's still some left. It's $2,000. I think it's a phenomenal deal. 75 inches, $2,000. There's a lot of TVs that you'll find the 75-inch that's under $2,000, but they're not going to have the same level of color saturation, brightness, and motion. So those three things I think is unique to this TV. So although it's a little bit more, you'll see a couple TVs maybe at 16 or 1700, but they'll either lack the color, the brightness, the palette, the accuracy out of the box, and most importantly for many of you, the uniformity. The uniformity on the X950H was actually quite good from many consumers at this size. So that's something that I think is worth the slight premium over a couple of competing deals out there. And then if you really need something cheap, the cheapest 43-inch I found was this one, and it's a TCL for $264. So I think that's pretty phenomenal. And of course, I've linked all of the deals below, but I think it's really great because it's under 300, it's 4K, it's 43-inch, and TCL at this price will beat the pants off of any other brand, maybe except for Hisense, but the LG, the Samsungs, and the Sonys at this price, they just can't compete. Even the Insignias and the Toshibas. So this is where TCL, I think, really shines, is in this price point. Now, I know we were talking about this before, Brandon. I wonder if there's any interest in us reviewing these cheaper TVs from our current audience. What were your thoughts on that as we talked about this?
I had said to you offline that the 43-inch TCL, people found it because I did an install video, but people were searching TCL 43-inch and they found my video. I installed it. I talked about it, and I had a Pearlsmith mount. And I honestly, like 2 or 3 people a day were buying the TV and the mount and the TV and the mount, and just like clockwork. So yeah, I think there are people that want it. I think you know, are probably the most loyal people are like, no, don't don't review crappy TV. But there's millions of people out there that buy TVs, and we only talk to a specific group, you know.
Yeah. And you know, right? When you say crappy TV, this is a really good definition, right?
Okay.
Today's crappy TV.
I'm not trying to be mean.
No, but that's a good point because it's so relative. 10 years ago, when we said crappy TV, literally it was a crapshoot whether it would even turn on, right? 30 days later, is it still going to turn on? Now that was a crappy TV. Today, it's more like, well, how's the color volume? You know, is it too dim? I mean, we're talking about really the TVs have progressed to the point where we are criticizing it for its finer points, but the TV turns on, it does everything it's supposed to do. So
smart TV and all that.
Yeah,
too,
right.
It's
a smart TV, right?
You can stream, you can like pop stuff up, stream off your phone on there, Chromecast, all that stuff. So yeah, there's so many features. You're right. And that's on a pretty $300, $400 TV. Some of this TVs do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I bet you that today's 43-inch $264 TCL 20 years ago, man, people are like, oh, wow, is that a $5,000 TV, right? And yeah, I think things have changed a lot. So, and I wanted to share with you guys the deals that you missed, right? And I had to put up the unicorn deal that someone found at Sam's Club. You had to go into a Sam's Club to get this deal. We have yet to find anyone that got this deal, but it was shared with us. So at the Sam's Club, LG 77-inch OLED C10, $2,000. Now it's not an open box, you know, it looks very impressive, but it wasn't available online. So if any of you knew anyone that got one or got it yourself, let us know in the comments below, because that's kind of awesome. But for everybody else, this one right here, 65-inch Sony A8H, 1,600 at Amazon yesterday. Once it was sold out, that price, it is now back up to whatever its regular price is, which, let me look over here real quick.
Yeah, I was going to look at it for you there.
Yeah, it's like what, 2,000, right?
No, it's still $1,798.
Oh, $1,798. Okay, so you know, it's
that's still a decent. That's still a good deal.
Bad.
I mean, that's $400 less than it was before. I mean, so it's still $400 off what it had been before this little deal. So it's still a pretty good price.
Agreed.
It's funny they have the renewed one. The refurbished one is $100 more than a brand new one right now.
That's crazy.
Also, if you have a second too, I don't know if you want to talk about this eventually when you have a chance, but a lot of people are asking me about these three TVs. The 8H, which might now it's $18.99. The 65-inch A80J, which is $21.99, and then or the 75-inch 950H. So if you want to talk about what you would do, because there's a person in the comment, I had a bunch of people ask me on my channel, would you go for the 65 LED or OLED or the 75 LED, since they're in the similar ballpark? And this is a tough decision-making question for people right now.
It is. So, okay, so what do? It's always use case. So we'll start with the OLED versus the OLED. That's the easiest one for me. At $1,600, the A8H is a no-brainer, right? But as it creeps up in price, the A80J to me is a significant upgrade over the A8H for two reasons. One, it's got that brighter XR processor, and that just changes the Sony in so many ways. You have to remember that the A80J is comparable to the LG G1. So we're talking about an LG G1 level performance at only a few $100s more than the A8H. I'd go with the A80J. Now, at $1,600 versus $2,200, okay, that's a much bigger difference. That's a $600 difference. Maybe not. So if you're a first-time OLED owner, A8H is fine, especially with that discount. But if you're coming from an LG C7, C6, you got to go with the A80J because you already have the same black levels that you're going to get with the A8H. So the improvement with the A8H isn't going to be huge, other than maybe motion, right? And especially if you're coming from, like, I don't know, an older, any older OLED, really, you got to go to the A80J, skip the A8H, but in a dark room. Now, this is where it gets kind of sketchy for many of you as well. I'm going to be in a medium lit to bright room. I'm going to have to lean with what Brian always says, you know, going to go big or go home in that case, because in the larger room, the 950H looks phenomenal because it's so bright and punchy and all that stuff. Yeah, the contrast is a bit weaker, even in a bright room, but that larger size, I think, makes up the difference. But if you're in a very dark room, let's say a pitch black room, man, I don't know. That's much harder for me because the lifted blacks on the 950H is noticeable. But if you're coming from an OLED, if you've never had an OLED before, I would go with a 950H 75-inch. So depends on who you are. If you've had OLED or you currently have an OLED, then you'll see the difference right away. And you can't unsee that once you've had OLED, and that's the deep blacks. If you've never had OLED, you're coming from a 6, 7, 5-year-old TV that has lifted blacks, washed out colors, which is what most LCD TVs had, go with a 950H. The only exception is if you had a Samsung, like a Q8FN or Q9FN, its blacks are better than the 950H. So even though it might be bigger, you'll notice the blacks in a darker room. So hopefully that kind of answers their questions, but definitely a use case thing. What would you choose, Brandon?
It's really tough. It's like you're saying, like it's hard for me to even, like I say, bright room or just like family room, big TV kind of style, get the LED. If it's like, you know, targeted to a shorter distance, darker room, you know, or you want really like the best HDR, then I would get, you know, the OLED. It's kind of what I'm talking. I'm posting this right now, just the same thing, because it's like very tough decision, but you know, for the most part, for the most regular everyday people, they're going to enjoy the larger TV, you know?
Yeah, I think so too. That's a great point. When you say regular people, you're coming from like a regular LCD, man, that 950H will blow away that regular LCD. And that's what we're talking about. It's an upgrade in both picture quality and size, and together it's pretty phenomenal. All right, here. So next up, all right, HDMI cables. And I thought there were some really great deals. So I'm going to quickly share the ones that I use personally myself. And this is why I would put up these ones, because I thought they were pretty cool. So we'll start with the RuiPro right here, I think. Oh, no, this is the Uni. So the Uni, this one, I've had and I've used it. I like it because one, it's under $10. It's 8K. It's 10 feet. I find 6 feet to be too short. 10 feet for under $10, 8K. I mean, I don't know what else to say. That's such a good deal. And it's not too thick. The first generation of 8K cables were way too thick. I did not like it at all. I would say this is more of a second generation model. It has braided. It's pretty nice. And it has a lifetime warranty. I am not seeing a lot of lifetime warranty on these cables. Uni's been around for a while. They sell a lot of accessories. So I'm a big fan. If you need a shorter run, under $10, it's a no-brainer. I mean, as a matter of fact, it's about the same price as a 4K cable, right? Maybe $1 or $2 more. So for me, that is definitely worth it. And then another one that I think is pretty great, I'll put it right here. So I'm going to do a quick review of this RuiPro optical. And this is one that I've been using for the last, I'd say, several months. I used it with all the TVs to make sure it works. Gaming, all of my gaming reviews were using this as well. And I found it to be pretty impressive in that, first, it was thin. This is a 50-foot model. I believe I have the 33-foot model, so it's $135. What I like about it is it's active. So there is a USB plug right here that you plug either on the TV side or on your device side, right? Whether it's a source that's an AVR or a Blu-ray. So if the device has a USB power, you plug it there. If the TV has it, you plug it there. I plug it onto the TV side, and it has been perfect. I really like this for longer runs. Now, I plan to connect this to my AVR, which is about 18 feet away. At 18 feet, you almost have to go optical because the non-optical passive, sketchy performance, right? Because it's not active, it's longer, it's thicker. I do not like that thickness. So I'm a big fan of this one. And of course, this one has a 5-year warranty though. So if you need a lifetime warranty, I'm looking for an optical that might have a lifetime. Now, their 4K model over here is lifetime. So a lot of you may not need the 8K model. So their 4K optical, also active, I believe, is significantly less expensive. So if you're not a gamer, you don't need the 4K 120, high bandwidth. This one for $32, 33 foot, and it has a lifetime warranty. And this one, I mean, I'm getting one myself, so I like this one because the only reason I have the other one is to test the gaming. But for my AVR, I don't need the gaming bandwidth of 40 gigabit plus 48 gigabits per second, because that for those uses, I would plug it closer to the TV. The consoles be closer to the TV, and I'm not going to plug my console into the AVR and then from the AVR to the TV on an 8K cable or a 48 gigabit cable. That's just too much points of failure. I would rather plug it directly to the TV. So for those who are needing distance, a lot more distance, farther away, the TV's farther away from the AVR, the optical, way to go. And at $42, 33 feet, I love this thinness right here. So definitely, I'm a fan of that. What cable do you use, Brandon?
I'm not really that particular. Like, I don't get too crazy into it. I see that you have good information on it. I typically will just buy whatever one has good reviews and works. So that's just how I roll.
No,
good
that makes
price,
sense.
it works.
Yep.
And I don't get too hung up on it. But I think it's good to know the differences. And definitely, like the passive ones, I do a lot of long runs. We don't typically get people requesting like 4K at 120 on my long runs. So it's like, if I can find a cord that works at 100 feet or 50 feet or whatever, as long as I know that it has a good track record, then I'll recommend it to people,
Now, this one's going to be pretty popular because a lot of you have TVs with crappy sound. I mean, let's face it, right? Even the Sony A90J, it may be better than the other Sonys or the other TVs, but it's, at best it's average, right? It's better than some, worse than others. And so the sound bars we have listed today, we're going from the most basic, cheapest sound bar with the highest rating. That has the Prime Day discount. So I'll go into that real quick here. So we're going to have 3 types of sound bars. Your super budget sound bar, that is a Prime Day deal for everyone. And then you're going to have the average Joe sound bars. So let me go down the specs here. There we go. $40. Prime Day deal, $40. It does exactly what the TV does, but it goes louder. But most people will say, well, you know what? I want a subwoofer. I have room for a subwoofer. And you can save some money still, because with a subwoofer, it is still only $88 with a subwoofer. It's not bad. You're still under $100. So on this one, also pretty well rated on Amazon, and it's under $90 with a subwoofer. I think that's fine. It's got Bluetooth. Now, this is not a premium experience, right? We're not talking eARC. So it will work with all ARC enabled TVs, right? This is not an eARC thing, but it's basic. And when they say subwoofer, they're being very generous with that. Really, it just goes down a little bit lower than a regular sound bar. So don't expect magic. If you do want the Vizio Elevate, which I think personally is one I would recommend at this price myself. The Vizio Elevate, when it launched, it was closer to $1,000. Now it's under $700. So there you got it right here. It's still available right now. And this one I have to recommend for under $700. It's been tested, tried and true. It's basics, but it has the deep sound. This is one where I think even Jonas said that he liked this one as well, right? He reviewed
a lot of people like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's solid. Because to go up from this, you're going over 1,000 with one of the Samsung flagships. And this one isn't bad. Now, one of the Samsung flagships that he really liked was last year's flagship. So that's one that you could consider as well. I believe that one is just under 1,000. This one's a little bit cheaper. So, it's kind of fancy. It's got the Elevate system, right? It's kind of cool, but it is not a true replacement for a system. But at this price, hey, why not? Are you using a soundbar in any of your systems right now, Brandon?
Yeah, I have a Sonos Arc. I also have a couple Samsungs. Yeah, the Sonos Arc is great. I mean, it's got good sound. It's expensive, of course, but you pay for the ecosystem, so you're paying for.
True.
If you're looking for a good soundbar in a single room, and you're not going to try to tie it to everything else in your house, the Elevate, the new 950 Q and 950. The names of the soundbars are so complicated. They sound just like the TV, so I can never remember which is which. But there are a lot of good ones.
Oh, look, we got a super chat here. Thank you, Andrew Tool. Let's pop you up here. Oh yeah, you were there yesterday. He was with us most of the day too. Thank you for
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that. It's
right.
funny.
Hey, so thanks for the super chat. You got a TV, 4K player, some 4K box sets this weekend. I did too. I got on Prime Day. I think Black Friday will offer better options for soundbars in the $400 $700 range. I completely agree. I think the Vizio might go even lower for sure. The latest Samsung flagships will get lower. They're still closer to their launch price. I do like the flagship Samsung. I'm hoping it'll be closer to 1,000, maybe just under, and a $400 $700 range. And I said this yesterday. What I love about soundbars is it literally does not change year to year, but the price drops because it's a year older, especially with Samsung and LG coming with a whole new soundbar every year, which I don't understand, right? I mean, like, what are you doing differently? I'm waiting for them to come with maybe a room calibration. Okay, that might change the game, right? A soundbar with Dirac or something like that. But the reality is, getting a 2 or 3 year old soundbar for a third of the price when it launched, it's going to sound indistinguishable from the new soundbar you're getting today. The biggest difference is the quality of the subwoofer. So I think the subwoofer is what really changes. So year to year, if they improve the volume, the SPLs, or how low it goes, okay, now that's something that may be worthwhile, but I would just upgrade the subwoofer as possible. But it isn't. It's like they make you buy an entire new soundbar. I'll be like, wait a minute, I just want to pay $100 for the new subwoofer. I don't mind keeping the rest of the soundbar. What, you're going to throw away the rest of the soundbar? So that kind of sucks, which takes us to separates. So I'm going to share this right here. This one was suggested by Aaron from Aaron's Corner. He has a channel he reviewed. This one is up. The measurements are, for this price, the measurements are awesome. So many of you spent all your money on a great receiver and you have nothing left for speakers. Well, actually, you might have something left for speakers if $99 in your budget. Get 2 of these, right? Plus, what he also recommended is that Elac subwoofer. And so this one, I agree, it will get you a lot more than any soundbar subwoofer. Like, this subwoofer is pretty phenomenal. He reviewed this one. It's 10-inch, it's small, and it will out sub anything that comes with a soundbar. And it's $120. So between this and the Numi, you have 2 options that you can match with your AVR. You know, it's only 2.1 channel right now, but you could add more Numis as you make more money, you win the lottery, you win one of Brandon's amazing giveaways, right? But I just love the $99 bookshelf speakers available. I think that's pretty awesome. So many of you with AVRs, oh, and it's a pair. It's $99 for a pair, not each, right? So I have to remind you, you get a pair of bookshelves. So now that it's measured, I feel comfortable recommending it because oftentimes I'm on Amazon, wow, it's only $99. But then, wait a minute, how crappy is it? But now that we've measured it and know how loud it can go, and Aaron personally likes this speaker, and that's what we're matchup, done. Don't need to reinvent the wheel. And here we go. Mad Mott suggests the 9.1 soundbar is on sale and is really good. I agree. I think the 9.1 soundbar from JBL is great. Let me see what the price is real quick.
I know that's one that Jonah reviewed and liked, and you can take those 2 separates and move them around the house and have music. So they're wireless, or they are battery charged too, so you can charge them up and then put them anywhere.
And the same is the sale is no longer available, so I'm not going to put it up. It's $1,000 now. So
it's still pretty inexpensive for an entire system.
Yeah, for an entire system. True that. Or maybe it's still cheap on Best Buy. Let's see. And Duck says that maybe the entry-level Nakamichi soundbar is on sale. So this kind of brings up a topic that I want to talk as well, is brand names and soundbar. What are you getting from a Nakamichi or a JBL or an LG or a Samsung? 2 things. When you're getting a brand name, other than the brand, right? But what they're doing is they're adding more power and more extension on the subwoofer, hopefully, and louder. your sound bar from a more expensive sound bar should go louder. And there's no way to know it unless you go in art ratings. Caught myself right there. Unless you go in ratings.com, they do measure the SPL, the loudness level of all their sound bars before distortion. That's the only way to know. You cannot trust the numbers that manufacturers put out there. And sometimes they don't even put out max volume before distortion. And unfortunately, Aaron doesn't review sound bars, so he can't share any of that information because he doesn't have anything to review. But ratings does. So if you have a sound bar you have in mind, check ratings, check their loudness level, because the reality is you're not looking at stereo separation or even immersion. If it doesn't get loud enough, you're not going to get too much volume. It has to get loud enough first. How far away are you sitting from the TV? Because most of these sound bars, you're going to get more like a stereo and really clear dialogue. That's most important, right? Stereo, subwoofer, bass, dialogue. And then from there, okay, if there's some immersion happening, great. But if the focus is on immersion, but the bass is just distorted, and then you can't hear the dialogue because the bass and equalization's off, what was the point of that? So that's something to keep in mind, and that's the reason why I really don't like sound bars. They're all over the place. And if you saw the Numi bookshelf speakers for $100 a pair, plus another $120 for the Elac subwoofers, that's like $250 for both. All the stuff is the AVR. Your sound quality from the 2.1 system will be so much better. The only thing is a lot of people don't like wires. I understand that, but that's just something to keep in mind, that sound quality will still be better than most sound bars you're going to get. And I would love to pit that against a Sonos setup, just so we can see, oh, well, the Sonos is like $1,000 with a subwoofer, and this with a AVR, how much is it going to be? Hey, Desmond, thank you for that super chat. I have a TCL 8 Series 65-inch. I love it, but need a bigger TV for a large, moderately lit living room. What is the clear upgrade from that TV in a 77-inch? Moderately lit. Man, the 8 Series is so bright, Desmond. I remember your question yesterday. It is so bright. And the only TV in the 75-inch that has a chance of getting brighter would be the QN90A. But you would have, well, that would be it. The QN90A, because it's 75-inch, that size is your upgrade. Or if you like the TCL 8 Series, why don't you get the TCL 8 Series at the 75-inch? That way you know what you're getting. It's just bigger. Now, the QN90A, I will tell you this. It will have better motion, and it will have better gaming features in terms of console gaming. If you have a next-gen console, Series X, PS5, you plug that into a QN90A 75-inch, wow, it'll blow your socks off. I also prefer Tizen, the latest Tizen, to the 8 Series Roku, or any Roku for that matter. So you'll have that, and the motion on the QN90A will be better than the 8 Series motion. So that would be a clear upgrade. Anything less than QN90A, you're going to be shortchanged enough that I'd go with an 8 Series 75-inch before I go with any other brand. So for me, that upgrade with the QN90A. Now, the X950H at the 75-inch is $2,000, but I don't know if it's a clear upgrade from the TCL 8 Series, because your native contrast and your local dimming contrast on the 8 Series is superior to the 950H. So the 950H is just bigger, but the image quality, you'll notice the drop off in the deep blacks and so forth. So yeah, QN90A, definitely. The QN85A definitely goes bright, but if you go off angle, you're going to notice blooming. That's my biggest beef, because it is an IPS, but straight on in front, don't move your head. It'll be bright. It'll be a little bit cheaper at a 75-inch size, so something to consider. And let's see. And Brandon, you have anything to add?
No, that's exactly what I would say. I mean,
all right.
Listening to you, and that's,
yeah. Thanks for that super chat, buddy. And here's the next one. Daryl, thank you. For mostly movies, sports, and cable TV in moderate lit room, your pick: X90J, X900H, 1400, or X950H, 1600. Movie, sports, cable, moderate lit. The brightest is the X950H. The X950H is a better TV, period, than both of those TVs. So it is a tier higher in Sony's lineup. The X900H is a tier below, and so the entire TV is. Oh, look, wait. Let me bring in our guest. You're on the road. Hey, buddy, are you at work?
Yeah, I just figured I'd jump in for a couple minutes.
Hey, thanks a lot. All right. So, Daryl, the 950H is definitely a high tier TV for Sony when it was released. It continues to be a higher tier TV. So comparing it to the X900H and X90J, you're really dropping down in picture quality. Now, the X90J will have slightly better darkroom performance, but that's irrelevant to you because you're in a moderately lit room. So I'd go with the X950H at 1600 over the X90J at 1400. And so, hey, Classy, what do you think? Because I know you've had experience with the X900H and X90J. For mostly movies, sports, and cable TV in a moderately lit room, would you pick between the X90J?
I was just thinking about, because so many people lately are asking about sports and cable news and whatever. I honestly think the 950H, 95J, that series is going to be the best because it's going to have best chance at a clean panel, good viewing angles, bright, pretty much everything you need for sports and cable.
Agreed. And
that was my pick yesterday too. Boom. Everybody was recommending the Samsung, and I said the Sony 950H for the deal anyways.
I have to bring on our Brazilian model from Philadelphia. Ian Fitzgerald came on last night. Hey, thanks a lot for coming on. Much appreciated. We brought him on as a guest for his amazing super chat. Loved him and his significant other. Hey, thanks for being there most of the day, Ian, and hope all is well with you. If you're working remotely, hey, we're here to keep you company. Spillage Village, thanks for the super chat. Do you guys foresee TVs next year that will be better blend gaming with movie watching, more HDMI 2.1s, more thorough gaming features? Feel like good panels have to be passed over this year because gamers are missing out on these features. So LG, I think LG is already there. It really is a disagreement between LG and Sony about how they want to present movies, right? So Sony is going Samsung's route. They want to saturate a little bit more color, a bit more pop, not necessarily accurate per se, but it's very appealing. LG is going straight by the book on this with this year's TVs. So arguably, I could say that LG is there, but for movie watchers, they tend to prefer the Sony XR. So I guess what you're saying, Spillage Village, is will Sony come out with 4 HDMI 2.1 ports and gaming features all working? And I don't foresee that. And it's not Sony's fault. I mean, they don't make their own chips. But yeah, that's my take. What do you think, Classy? Because I know this is something you think about a lot because you're a gamer.
Yeah. So if anyone saw my community post, I think I made my decision. So definitely with LG, they are the creator's intent. Like, they give you the source clean, dirty, however it's supposed to be. They don't try to pizzazz it in any way. I'm noticing with the Samsung, and I'm loving it, how you had that video about the Samsung Q90A and it's teal, the cyans and the teal and all that, those shades playing Sea of Thieves are looking, in water, like, it looks amazing. It has that pizzazz and spectacle, but there are still issues with the TV. LG doesn't really have any, thing that I would say is spectacular, but there's nothing bad about it either. There's nothing wrong. Everything is good. There's no blooming to distract you. There's no, this doesn't look right to distract you. There's really no image retention. Like, nothing takes you out of the experience once you're in it. So I've decided I'm going to get the 77G1, I think Thursday.
Oh, okay. Congratulations. All right.
Good deal.
And you're going to spend a lot of time dialing it in, right? You have all the settings memorized.
I was going to say too, I think next year will be a good year. I hope that, we'll see what the companies are going to do, but obviously they're going to start doing more HDMI 2.1s. They're going to try to work on these TVs. I mean, they sell a lot of TVs. They can't be happy with everyone being unhappy with some of the things like Sony's, the VRR and all that stuff too. Yeah. So there'll be improvements. There'll be improvements.
Yeah, to touch on the next year thing, I certainly hope Sony goes more HDMI 2.1 ports, or at the very least move the eARC to something else. And for LG, the only direction they have to go is a heatsink. So
That's true.
I think
And
all you're going to see is 10% brighter, maybe.
And I was going to say that we saw the heatsink on the A90J limited, right? Maybe SDR, maybe some specular highlights, and the ABL is less aggressive, but it's not like night and day that I had hoped, honestly. When we saw the 1300 nits in vivid mode, we assumed that everything else would benefit, not 1300, but come on, maybe 1000? Not even that, right? It barely breaks 800.
Yeah, but hold on. I have to say, man.
Okay, all right.
I was thinking. You know, I know we dice this apart, and we were talking about what TV looks good and what doesn't. The A90J is amazing. It's an amazing TV. Like, I have it in my bedroom. I went back and I was watching TV last night. I was watching just SDR, like cable TV, and it was a animated movie, and it was like Jesus. It literally blinded me in my bedroom. So I know it doesn't measure per, you know, but the highlights in addition, it's just like. What was lacking from OLED is added in this TV in like the details, small details. The shadow detail on mine is amazing. I think you can see everything, and I feel like it's a 75-inch because it's so detailed. It just looks amazing. So I'm extremely happy with that TV. And I don't care. I don't game, so that doesn't bother me at all in that TV. So, you know.
I don't
whenever you guys get your 83s, you know, would one of you be willing to go on the service menu and try turning up the RGB settings and just see if you notice an increase?
John Riformato would kill me if I did that. However, Ninjician will be there. If he knows what he's supposed to do, because it'll be at your place, right?
Yeah, they'll be at my house.
As long as it's reversible, hey.
Yeah, completely. It takes 30 seconds.
That's fine.
No special.
And you know what? It's up to Brandon. If it looks great, hold on to the settings. If it doesn't, go back and do it again, because at 83 inches, everything is exaggerated. Everything, right? So, but to your point, Brandon, remember when Ratings was on? Ratings was on, and
nice work. Good job. Good job.
We talked about
take one out of the nickel jar there.
Right, take one out of the nickel jar. We talked about the scoring, right? So the A90J and the C1, literally 1 point apart. But the way you and I and, you know, all the reviewers that were on Valley Electronics, wow, you expect more than 1 point difference. And even you broke it down to the specific areas where it beat the C1. It was like maybe 2 points, maybe, but it feels like it's more. So how do you guys grade that difference? Is it really only 1 to 2 points? Because the way we're talking about it, it feels like it's closer to 4 or 5 points.
Yeah, I mean, like, real quick, because I'm sure class you'll give a technical answer of some sort, which is good. You know, it's good. I would say, like, when I look at, like, you know, when I go on there, I look at brightness for OLEDs, and I want to like look at the numbers. And when you look at like the 1% brightness and stuff like that, it was like I think it was like 900 or 850 versus like the LG C1 or C. It was like lower than that. It was like 150 to 200 nits higher, and then. I'm even thinking in my own head, like we were talking about the 1% pattern and how big that is. And then thinking about like, oh, this is like 0.1% or even half of that, you know, so tiny little highlights are going to be even better than that. So when you're watching a movie, I see a lot more out of it. But then when you have them side by side, you realize that like those older OLEDs and even the C1 and A80J, they're good TVs though. And we do pick these apart too much, but I think the heatsink and the better speakers, you know, I feel like those are improvements. And the C1 and even the G1, the speakers don't sound as good. So if you're not going to use a soundbar or anything like, or if it's going to be on the wall, like I like that the A90J it's fine by itself, you know. So a couple of reasons.
Okay. All right, Classy. What are your thoughts on the separation between a C1 and the A90J?
I haven't seen the A90J yet. But doing that service menu thing on the A80J, you can make it measure like an A90J. So that's why I was like interested if an A90J could really.
We lost you. He's a bad part of town.
Yeah, they don't have universal broadband in that part of town, man. We lost you for a second. You're back.
Okay. Oh, so you were saying that if you do that,
I was just saying,
service setting menu.
I haven't seen the A90 yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but in the A80 you can boost it up to measure like the A90. But as far as like their points and their scoring, I just think that there's there's too much weighting from other categories.
Agreed. I think so too. Hey, Prism, thank you for the super chat. I have a 55-inch LG EG9100. That's a 1080p OLED from 2015. Would a 55-inch C1 be a worthwhile upgrade? 75% gaming, 25% streaming, Netflix, Disney, 6 feet away. Oh, man. Oh, yes. Prism, absolutely. Because even though it's the same size, going from a 4K in 2015, oh, wait, it's an OLED. Okay, I take it back. What you will get is better gaming, and it will be a little bit brighter, and your HDR will be better. In 2015, HDR tone mapping wasn't quite worked out yet. So your black levels will be similar. Don't expect a huge change in the black levels. Maybe a little bit more shadow detail. The biggest change will be the gradient into HDR peak brightness. You will notice that for sure. And gaming will be smooth because of 4K 120 / VRR, right? If you're PC gaming, great. But even without PC gaming, next gen consoles at 4K 120 will look better than, I think it's a 60 hertz panel. So yeah, much smoother gaming. I do think it's worth the upgrade for this previous OLED owner. So anything to add to that, Brandon? Inspired him?
Oh, no. Sorry, I was blanking
No,
out.
do your thing.
Comments.
Do your
But
thing.
Max Chambliss said that he did that on his A90J where he beefed it up. I wonder if that's what he's speaking about. Oh, but I'll look at this real quick. Would it be worth upgrading the C1 55-inch? Yeah, of course. Do you know if that LG is any good? The one that he has from it's 2015, so it's 6 years old.
It's one of the original LGs. I'm sure it cost him like $8,000 back then, or $7,000. I mean, it was insanely priced back then.
6 feet away. I mean, I would also say if you were willing to if you were willing to go 65-inch too, like, man, I would probably go with a 65-inch C10 versus a 55-inch C1 because I think the size difference too is going to be like, if you go from 55 to 55, yes, you're going to love it. There's no question. It's going to be an amazing TV, probably the best gaming TV in the world, especially for you that close and all that. If you went 65, man, that'd be even better.
I agree with you. The C10, maybe it's like $100 or $200 more, maybe. Now, on Black Friday, the C1 will get significantly cheaper, but the C10 won't be available anymore. But yeah, I say consider the 65-inch C10 upgrade. Very good point, because that still has all the benefits of the C1. Brightness. Now, maybe it's subtle. Shadow details in your black might be a little bit weaker than the C1, but both are better than what you're getting with HD OLED from 2015, and the motion of the C10 is a little bit better still. The C1 has the better motion between the two, but if motion didn't bother you on that older 55-inch, then it won't bother you on this one, so don't worry about that. All right, I like this one. What are my thoughts on the budget 60-inch A6G?
And also, just while you're doing that too, I had someone ask about is it the U6G too, or is that a different version?
So there's a U6G. I think it's a different version. Yeah, there is a U6G.
Someone asked me about that, so I didn't know if you wanted to tell me the differences.
So the U6G is unique to Best Buy. So I have a hard time comparing it. So only Best Buy has a U6G for now. Let me look at it real quick, double check that. But I know it's unique to Best Buy, but I want to check if it's still called the U6G. It's kind of weird.
And why people are talking, I love the A80J DJ. A80J is fantastic. Phil also, I love the LG TVs. I think the C1 and the A80J are the most common, should be the most commonly bought TVs of the year. I think they're both fantastic. Again, we just differentiate the two. Like now someone's saying my list of consideration includes all of the OLED. So yeah, it's tough. So that's why we differentiate. But I would be perfectly happy with the C1. I am perfectly happy with the C10 before it. I love the A80J. I would have kept that if I didn't already have the A90J. So all these TVs are really good. So don't have any FOMO on these, especially the LG C1 or the A80J. They're awesome. Yep. DJ, I don't know what you'd cancel the order for the A80J for. What would be the other TV you'd buy instead? So there you go. Just keep it, man. It's good TV.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. Excuse me. The 50-inch versus the 50-inch here. So on Best Buy, the U6G is $480, and this one, it's $360. Okay, so the A6G is a lower ranked TV, and I think it's because the U6G has quantum dots. It's a ULED quantum dot TV. The A6G is not. The A6G is Hisense's bottom TV. And what you're missing from a bottom TV, hey, welcome back. What you're missing from a bottom TV is the color gamut isn't as wide. More likely than not, it probably has washed out colors, but I hope to get the U6G, possibly, maybe. But the A6G, I mean, forget picture quality. The reason why you're getting it is you're getting the least expensive 50-inch 4K TV you can find, right? So you're really competing with the TCL 4 series. And at this point, it's more like, do you like Roku or do you like Android TV? That makes more of a difference than the picture quality because they're so close, you know, they're cutting corners to get to a price point. So it really is, get one that you can afford with the operating system that you like. All right, let's go down here to the next one. Hey, Hector, thank you for the super chat. I've been stuck on 2 TVs. I've been looking at a QN90A and the LG G165 inch. My living room is pretty bright, or go future proof and wait for the LG QN99 since I heard good things about it. All gaming. And the answer is yes. Now, the QN90A isn't bad for gaming. And I was going to ask you, have you had a chance to test gaming on that, Classy?
Yep.
What are your thoughts as a gaming TV?
So as I was trying to say earlier about the teal and the cyans and just having those extra shades, it really makes skies and water look really, really good. The gaming performance is every bit as good as LG. It's just that it's limited to one port.
Yeah.
And I have both of these in 65-inch right next to each other right now. The only thing is my room doesn't get very bright, but I'd say as long as the light isn't hitting the screen, the G1 will still look good. It's just when you have them side by side and you see those HDR highlights, that's where you just see the G1 just stop and the QN90 just keeps going.
Yeah.
So it's really up to you. Do you want those pure blacks with no blooming and nothing distracting you? Or do you want that pizzazz and that spectacle?
And I have to agree on the pizzazz. When I had the U8G, that's Hisense's flagship next to it, the 8G felt very muted, but not in a bad way, more like accurate, right? We talked about it. You know what? It looks good. If it wasn't for the QN90A, I'd be like, wow, this looks really good. And the QN90 goes, wow. I mean, like, wow, look at the highlights, right? And I wasn't as bothered by the blooming. I didn't notice it as much because in action games for me, now maybe if it was more of a dark game like Demon Souls where it's more obvious, but in something like Dirt 5 where you're flying around, I thought both TVs were phenomenal, but you're right. Oh, I did notice the blooming when you go into the tunnel. So yeah, in the tunnel in Dirt 5 on their first, the first track in Brazil, yeah, you do see the blooming on the QN98 a little bit, but if there wasn't a TV next to it, it's fine. I would wait for the QN99 just because why not, right? If you're not in a rush and you're going to wait anyway, the QN99 at least I think has 2 HDMI 2.1 ports for sure. I don't know if they have 4 though. That I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure Robert said they were going to have all 4.
4? Oh, if they have all 4, then that definitely worth the wait because now we get to compare and we'll compare it because for sure I think Brian is going to get a close look at the Q99 as well. Maybe he'll bring a console over there and test it. But yeah, I'd wait. There's no rush. Yeah.
And how many systems do you have too? Like, do you have PS5, Xbox, and PC? If so, then maybe just go LG.
Very good point. Very good point. Hey, Nathan. Thank you. Oh, wrong one. Hey, Addy, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for the live stream yesterday. You're welcome. Listen while working remotely. I hope you're all doing that. Got some good stuff like a cheaper Sony headphones, camera lenses, on to November Black Friday. Yeah. Oh, camera lenses, man. Those things are freaking expensive. So yeah, I'm glad you got a good deal on that. It's these times, assuming it's available, but
I was looking, FOMO, this is something that maybe you can help me with too, because you know a little bit about cameras too, right? I mean,
yep, I do.
Yeah, I have I have the A6400, right? And I have the Sigma 16 millimeter lens that I use for everything. It's like the only lens I use. The problem is it has a little bit of a fisheye. So I can't get the top of my TVs to be perfectly flat. You know, when I use my phone, perfectly flat. It bugs the crap out of me. So I'm trying to figure out if it's the camera.
How you do it. Yeah. So Go back farther because it's not.
I know,
zoom,
but
right?
I can't. I can't go any.
Yeah,
You know, and the thing is I want to get like a 16 to 35 millimeter G Master or something, but then it's like, you know, will I even get any benefit from it? I might rent one from a local store and check it out and see. Or I just wonder if I should shoot or just get a different camera. I don't know.
So it really is the lens size. I strongly recommend that now that you know your limits of your lens and you have a APS-C lens, right? So I think that's equivalent to like a 21 millimeter or something like that. So because I have more space, I'm on a 20 millimeter full frame lens, and you're right. I have to back up
and then crop it a little bit.
Yep. And sorry, Classy, I have to put you on mute. I think there's a trash truck driving by or something. Oh, okay, you're good now. So yeah, because if you get any wider, that fish eye is always going to be a problem. It doesn't matter what now, right? Because
I have my phone and I pull my phone back and I see other people that just use their phone for reviews and their TVs are perfectly like flat on the top. And I'm like, it pisses me off that I can't get that.
It's the dynamic range that you lose, really. Because I want to capture most of that dynamic range. And with a Sony camera, it's easier to do so. And I zoom in a lot, right? So that's why I had to upgrade to an 8K camera is I capture it once and I zoom in all the sections. It saves so much time for me. But that's why you get a higher quality camera so you can zoom in. But if you capture it without having to zoom, actually a phone camera is fine. But I do a lot of zooming, so that's my
Do you know
issue.
anything about that? I think it's the Z-Cam something M4. It's like a $1,500 cinema camera that uses Micro Four Thirds. That's what I'm looking at, thinking about getting, because it does 4K at 160, and I want to be able to capture gameplay at 4K 120.
Yep. It's a great now make sure, I'm sure you have the computer power, but make sure that it puts out the right codec to match the software you plan to use. And if it matches up and your computer, like NVIDIA, right, is optimized for 264 processing. So if the camera natively puts out 264 and it's straight in, you're done. Otherwise, you might have to export it to the right codec to process it. If it comes out in something like a ProRes, then you have to convert from ProRes because NVIDIA is not good with ProRes, or PCs are not good with ProRes. If you have a Mac, whole different story.
Yeah, I saw 264, 265, and a couple others listed on there. So I just saw that it's like you're buying basically like just the main body and you got to buy a whole bunch of stuff with it. So it's going to get expensive.
The lens,
I mean, like I have my Micro Four Third Panasonic lenses that technically should work, but I've heard that they don't work as well on that camera. So I'll probably still have to buy more lenses with it.
If the full frame is similar in price, I would go with the full frame because the lens selections, whether it's a Canon compatible or Sony, are just better. But that's me, right? So I know that Joe and Tel had the Z-Cam, and then I sold him my A7S III. So now he loves that, but he does like the Z-Cam a lot. I don't know which one he has, but you can reach out to him and he'll tell you what his setup is. But his reviews are mostly speaker reviews. But he loves it. He thought the motion on it was phenomenal. But yeah, capturing it in 120 and processing 120, man, I tell you, that's where I slow down on my editing as well. What software are you using for video editing?
Right now, just Adobe Premiere Rush. I downloaded.
Get out of Adobe Premiere because they don't do a great job of optimizing their software for NVIDIA cards. I don't understand what's wrong with Adobe, right? So Apple is the best at optimizing for their software, and then NVIDIA optimizes for NVIDIA. DaVinci Resolve optimizes for NVIDIA very well. Premiere just doesn't care. I mean, you could have like the fastest CPU and GPU, and the Premiere always falls behind the other two. So if you're going to kind of learn video editing again, and it's not much of a change, either go to the Sony, the Apple ecosystem, which ends up being less expensive overall than getting an RTX 3090 at these prices, right? To process.
Well, I already have a 3080, and I have a
3080 should be okay.
I use Premiere, and it's pretty. It's like I use it because I use Photoshop, Premiere. I use everything, so I actually like Premiere quite a bit. But it doesn't. I don't know. I have only a 2070, and I do 4K videos all the time, and once in a while it'll crap out. But most of the time, my videos get rendered in like 3 minutes or 4 minutes, so it's pretty fast. And I can't imagine how fast it would be with one of those cards.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the time because I usually do
Yeah.
it and then just go to bed,
Yeah.
and then it's done when I
Oh,
wake
okay.
up.
That's fine. Yeah. Hey, Samuel, thank you for that super chat. Really excited about the LG QNED 90. Any chance it could compete with Samsung's VA black levels and peak brightness? Also, when is it releasing? We had an interview with Robert just last week. It's releasing this summer. I believe it was in July. The key is this. It is supposed to compete with the VA black levels. And early rumors are that it is very good, better than last year. Now, does it match the QN90A? That remains to be seen, but we will have side-by-side comparisons at Valley Electronics, so we'll know soon. All right, let's move down. Thank you, Prism, for that earlier super chat. Yep, there you go. No matter what, you're going to win. If you've never had HDR, this is a win-win for you. Hey, Nathan, thank you for the super chat. See a lot of talk about TVs, but not a lot about protecting your TV surge protection versus line conditioners. Maybe a series on that or Prime Day deals. Oh, this is a good question, actually, because I know B, the installer, might have a comment about surge protection. So what I do personally, what I understand is this. If you get hit by a true surge, let's say a lightning, doesn't matter what surge protection you use, it's over, right? You're gonna have to have a real like grounding system in your house. And if you have that, then already it's kind of solved. The surge protection, I mean, it has to be like a small surge. I don't use a surge protection. For a surge purpose, I use it to distribute everything evenly to make sure that I'm getting what I'm getting out of the wall, but it's not for surge protection purposes myself. So I don't look at the surge part. I look at the distribution of power among my TVs so that, no single circuit is handling all of it, because I have like 6 TVs running off of one line. That's not healthy. So I kind of distribute it that way, but I'm very ambivalent about actual surge protection. Conditioners, I also haven't seen an issue with me with line conditioners, so I don't pay for that. How about you guys? Any opinions on surge protection or line conditioning for your TVs or audio system?
Well, what I do normally for my clients that want surge protection is I'll actually install a surge protected power outlet in the wall. So
there you go.
Then that way the TV and anything they connect up there by the TV is all protected. And it has a GFCI type switch where it pops. So then the whole power outlet just turns off if there's any sort of surge, and then you can just pop it back on. So that's normally what I install. They're like $30. You can buy a Leviton like surge protected power outlet for like $30. Install that behind the TV. That's what I use for peace of mind when it comes to a big TV, because it's hard to fit something like that up behind the TV. And if you're going to, that's funny, the picture behind me, my kids being hilarious. Look at that picture. They're like being goofballs. Anyways, it's a picture I took a while ago. That's what I do, because you can't put like a big old surge protector behind a TV. It's like too much. There's not enough room. So that's what I normally do. So if it's on the ground and you got a bunch of other things to connect to it, then you could do a surge protector. I don't really use them either, FOMO, to be honest. I don't. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. We're in California. We don't even get lightning that often.
But don't you get a lot of lightning storms in Ohio, Classy?
Yeah.
Is that an issue for you guys?
Yeah, but I'm not worried about it though, because I mean, just like with power supplies and computers and everything else, they've gotten efficient. They have all that protection built in so many places along the line that the chance of anything frying is so small. I'm not worried about it.
And if it's going to fry, that's a huge surge. Yeah.
I need to get going. But
go. Hey, thank you for joining us, buddy.
Yep.
Talk to you later.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye. All right. So here's another question. And release date. The X95J is coming in July. The larger sizes, 75, 85 inch, and late August is the 65 inch. Obviously, all these dates are subject to change, but right now, Robert at Valley Electronics was advised that the larger sizes in the X95J is coming in July, and we'll get exact dates as we get closer to July, but I believe early July for the 75 inch and maybe a week or two later for the larger size, or maybe at the same time, but definitely later August for the 65 inch. So hopefully you guys are saving up for that amazing TV, because we expect a lot out of that TV, by the way. Brian feels that the TV can get as bright as the Z or the Z8H last year, which is like almost 3,000 nits. That's kind of insane.
Be awesome.
Yeah. I'm going to have one on order, so I'll get to see if it can match up to the Q90A in brightness. We know it won't match up in black room, but let's see in a bright room if it could do anything magical. Hey, Jesus, thank you. Should I wait for the Sony X95J 75-inch or the get the Q90A 75-inch? Depends on your room. If you have a super bright room, then wait, because the X95J should get as bright as Q90A. If you're in a dark room, I don't believe it's going to match up with the Q90A's darkroom performance, but again, speculation. We don't have it here yet. And if you're not in a rush, yeah, wait until August. And you're probably going to get a good deal on the Q90A.
And the QNet will be out there too, you know.
Yes,
so
and the QNet.
Yeah. I just start to I'm having the same kind of like
FOMO
thought process. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not FOMO because I'm not like necessarily having to buy one of these.
Right.
I'm just thinking like, you know, if I'm going to get a Samsung QN98, give it another shot or something, then there's also that QNet and then this X95J, which I would be really interested in. I wish they come out and say it had like 1,000 dimming zones or something, you know, but what are you going to do?
Well, we know the X95J will, yeah, you're talking about the QNet, right? Yeah. Well, the QNet.
No, I was talking about the X95. What is the X95 going to have? Do you know?
Same as last year. The
Chinese,
Chinese,
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to have a lot.
Chinese reviews are out, and it's exactly the same as last year, which is a great disappointment for me. But, you know, it is what it is. We just have to accept that. Oh, hey, I know we wanted to talk about this. So I think I want to jump into the right here mount. And thank you, Phil. Yeah. You rock too. So here we go. This is what Mike, my Gadget World, Mike has, as well as I. Now, we don't have it. I don't have it in the silver one. I have it in the black one. I'm putting this one up because there's a good deal on it, right? It's originally $320. Now it's $269. I paid $300 for it when I got at Best Buy a couple of years back. This is what holds my main TV up, and it could hold up to a 90-inch TV and like 125 pounds or something like that. I think it's the most heavy-duty one. I like it because of this. It extends out 28 inches, and for me, this is important because, you know, cable, and I'm always pulling stuff out, and you can move it like left to right. That is really hard to do. And so I like it for that. And it's, you know, up and down, I mean, angles. So it's great. It's my favorite one, but it is a bit expensive. So what are your thoughts on this one? Is this the one that you like, Brandon?
That one is fine. That was a good one.
Okay. Let's talk about the bad one here. Let me put up the other one.
No. Yeah. I'll show an alternative to that big one. If they can't afford $300 mount, there's a mount online that I recommend that is just a beast. And I put any 85, 90-inch TV on it, and it laughs at those TVs. It's so strong. It's hilarious. I love it. But let me see which one you got there. Oh,
this is the other one we're talking about.
Yeah, that one I don't like. Okay. That one I don't like.
All right, so let's take and what was wrong with it? So that
the reason I don't like it is because when you fold it up, it's just really like that arm right there. And it's not good, and it offsets the TV, offsetting off the middle, so it doesn't set it to the middle. And those brackets are really wimpy too. So just a lot of the reasons that does not, I would be very hard pressed to put a TV 100 pounds on that. And it doesn't come out very far. All of those reasons. So there's a bunch of reasons I don't really like that mount. There is an alternative that is, if you type in Sanus mount, go ahead and hit like Sanus mount. I'll show you the alternative.
Okay.
Just do like a Sanus. And then if you go down, the third one down,
is it this one? This one.
That one is a beast right there. That one is what I have. Let me see it. It's a little different than mine, but that one is way stronger because it has a stronger arm, and then that plate works better. So this turns and manipulates a lot better, and that's only $100 too. And they have a very similar one like this at Costco. That's like I think it's like $100. So that one is a good one for most 65-inch TVs and, you know, your regular TV.
I love it. Thank you. Okay.
That's not the beast mode one though. I'm still looking for it because it's actually really hard to find. Monoprice has a version of the beast one I have. Oh, that's a good one overall.
Right.
I wanted to show this really like nice one that
how much was that without
similar to the one that you're speaking of. The one that I'm looking for is like $120. It's similar to that Sanus one, but it's like half the price. And so that's why. Right. But I'll find it in a second. We can throw it up later.
Okay. And well, since we're on there.
Are you looking at, you want other mounts too, or no? Because
well, those are the ones that we talked about yesterday, and they're on Prime Day. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
Now this one is also on Prime Day. That's why it's 90. Was that the one that we just looked at? The one that you liked? Where'd it go? I don't think. Huh. It literally disappeared. Well, if you find it, share it with me.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find this one. I think Monoprice has a really big mount.
And I was going to share the stuff I bought yesterday, and we could talk what if any of you bought anything. So this is what I got. This is suggested by Aaron, right? Here we go. The laser leveler for $24 because I'm going to be putting up a lot of speakers and I need to make sure it's level and pointed in the right direction. For me, it's all about angling and pointing it at whatever I need it to point it at because I'm going to have like, I don't know, 16 or 15 speakers all around. So I got that. And what did you get, Brandon? Do you remember getting anything yesterday?
I got a pair of headphones for my son.
Awesome.
I got a little case for my earbuds, like a protective case, because it's like I'm dropping it every time. I'm about to buy a bunch of things for all these people that won stuff yesterday. I gotta go back through the 9 hours of footage and find their information.
Oh my gosh. This one I buy all the time. So because it's on sale, I'm gonna put it up. You can see I bought it twice since September 30th. This is my favorite bias lighting. I really like it because it's reliable. Now, reminder, this is not like the high-end cinema accurate lighting. For me, it's to help reduce eye fatigue. So I normally just put it on white light, but it comes in multiple colors, right? If you guys want the Kodak, the one that is what we call cinema quality, it's a little bit more expensive and it's the media light kit, but it's not on Amazon. So you're not going to get great deals. But for those who just want some bias lighting to reduce eye fatigue, this is what I use. And so when you see my background is kind of lit up a bit behind the TVs, this is it. Prime Day deal. It's not huge, but it's there if you were looking for bias lighting.
How much is that one?
This one for the 60 to 80 inch TV size is $44.
Yeah. There's also a Paddington Villa one that's like $12 too. I use it all the time.
There you go.
So but it doesn't have the fourth strip. I think it has 4 strips, but they're like, it's more like a 55-inch TV.
Right.
They make one a little bigger, I believe, for like $20, but the Paddington Villa or something like that is a really good one. I get a bunch of those. I have them all sitting around the house. I should have given some of those away.
Oh yeah, that would have been a good one. The only issue for me with other lighting is I get flicker on my camera. Mm-hmm. This one doesn't flicker because it's a higher frequency. That's
good to know.
That's what I suggested. Right, yeah, because I got like 7 of them to try out. Every one of them flickered except for this one. So
good.
But yeah, I mean, this was a couple of years ago. Maybe they've changed their technology, but a lot of the lighting manufacturers don't realize that we capture it on camera. That's why it flickers. So, they kind of cheap out on the frequency, but some of you might be sensitive. You might see the flicker, but if you don't, then it's fine. It's just, this one's a little bit more expensive because it doesn't flicker for me.
What I have to do in the Paddington Villa ones, I have to actually put it on the smooth movement so then it doesn't flicker, because otherwise it does. The Paddington ones do flicker, yeah.
Yeah. So this one I picked up yesterday. It's irresistible to me. 8 films Harry Potter, and it's still available, so I put it right. So if you guys are looking for a film, a gift box, whatever, I think 8 film Harry Potter 4K, $73 for me. This is what I ended up getting for the family and the kids. So that's kind of my shopping list.
It's cool. Yeah, I'm probably going to look on more. I was just so overwhelmed with all the stuff we were doing yesterday. I was like,
you and me both, man. Oh, yeah. Dude, I have to say, the amount of preparation that you had to put into, I mean, I did the easy stuff. I just threw guests at you and stuff, but you were like reaching out and doing all the little things that got the guests to appear on time. That is the hard part, right? So,
it was definitely definitely fun. I'm glad. Oh no, thank you for being on with us. Being on all day, it was awesome. I'm trying to find this mount, man. It's like I feel like I haven't bought it in years. I'm looking back at 2019 and I still don't see where I bought this mount. So maybe it's not that good of a deal if I didn't buy it so recently. I bought thousands of mounts though. I mean,
I'm sure you did.
I can show everyone like the cheap mounts if they want.
Right.
Like I know all the cheap mounts, but yeah.
Hey Shane, thanks for the super chat. He was going to wait until Black Friday, but just got a crazy deal at my local Sam's Club. Please let it be the $2,000 one. They accidentally marked the C77C1 down to 1,700. Oh, okay. This is the deal of the day. Shane, you win. Even accidents happen. This beat out the 77-inch C10 at $19.99. This is it.
That's like half price.
Dude, And they honored it.
It's funny that they honor that. I don't know why they do
Love
that.
it.
They should just be like, wrong. Sorry, we had the wrong price on it. You
Or,
don't
or
get
someone,
it. 'Cause that's
someone,
crazy.
heads rolled. What is it? Heads rolled after
Yeah,
that.
dude, someone got fired for that. That's like a month pay.
Good
No, I'm
job,
just kidding.
Jane. And with the savings he had, right? He gave us a super chat. Thank you for sharing.
Well, there you go. Then yes, they definitely should honor the price then, of course. As long as you're giving us super chats.
And in addition, this is an excellent follow-up to that question earlier about the conditioner and surge suppression.
I saw
Brownouts. I didn't even think about that. So brownouts. Low power is worse than surges. Absolutely. I have two old Belkin PF60s in my setup, and they are more about stabilization and surge protection. So are we talking UPS here, right? Is this a backup power supply where they supply the power if it drops? Because I don't have anything specifically for low power drops myself. But if you have any other products, but let me look up the Belkin. Maybe it's on sale. So let me check that out real quick. Yeah. Do you think about brownouts yourself?
No, when you say brownout, I just want to laugh because it's funny.
I know. It's one of those, right?
Funny comment.
It's like
Okay, so I found the mount that I was speaking of, but it's only on a mono price. Should I show people or not?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's check it out.
Here, let me share it.
Let me remove this.
I think it's just this main one. Go ahead whenever you got it.
There we go. So
you can see that?
I like it. Yes.
Okay, so these mounts on Monoprice, let's just give them the product number. It's 12280 on Monoprice. So this mount is similar to the one that you were talking about, and I'll go through a couple of pictures. It's still flush 2.8 inches flat, but it can easily hold a 90-inch TV. It has a 176-pound rating. This is 16 inches wide on the back. So you can actually 34 inches wide. So you can get it on two studs on the wall, and it has a what's this distance? Okay, so I don't think it's quite as long. It's only 24 inches long, but it can hold a massive TV, and it's not a piece of junk because most of the ones on Amazon that say they're really for big TVs, they're not good. And that's why you had to get a Sanus one, because Sanus mounts are so fluid and they can hold the weight with ease, and you turn them and you feel confident. This is the budget version of that. So $84.
It's a good price.
It's a great price. It's not quite as fluid as the Sanus, of course, but for $84, it's a really good mount.
I agree. And with that theme, this is my mobile mount for my TVs. So you see my TVs out there. This is the only way I can move it around. This is amazing because you got the crank right here. It goes up and down. It allows me to compare TVs because TVs have different sizes. And I like this so much because these casters are durable. This whole thing is so well made. I have 3 of these.
Yeah, those are great.
They're so great. I mean, it holds up the 70-inch TV. Come on.
And they're really good for people that want to put a TV in the backyard because you can put your TV on it and then you guys can roll it around if you have like concrete in the backyard. You don't, if it's date in the morning, maybe the sun's on one side, in the afternoon it's on the other side. You can move your TV with like the cable box attached and just slide the whole thing. One of my buddies did that out here in California. He had one of those.
Yeah. And so we both like Monoprice. Some of their products are just so amazing. And I'm going to have to emphasize one more thing about Monoprice. Since we're on their website, right? I just want to show you guys because a lot of people don't understand why these things are so awesome. THX subwoofer. Okay.
And yeah, I got one too when you're done.
Everyone who has a budget of $1,000, maybe a little bit more, and you need a subwoofer, don't look any further than this Monoprice 12-inch THX certified 500-watt subwoofer. You're going to have to pay closer to $2,000 to get the performance of this subwoofer. Monoprice, they licensed another company did the work, and that company only makes subwoofers, and very good one. I spoke to Matt Pose, and he's like, when you get some of the premium stuff from Monoprice, and they call it Monolith, right? They go out and they hire the best to make it, and they just mark it down because they don't care. And so if you need a under $1,000 subwoofer, and Aaron agrees with me as well, Aaron from Aaron's Audio Corner, this like $800 by far is one of the better subwoofers you can get from anywhere, period.
And what's crazy about this company is Monoprice. They do so much volume. It's insane. I've been in their warehouse. It's insanely big.
Yes.
And they get like 20 they get like 20 containers a day of product, dude, from China. And so yeah, they have this stuff in bulk. So when things are in stock, get it. You know, when it's not in stock, you're gonna have to wait for months. Sometimes that monolith was back ordered forever.
Yeah. Yep.
And I have this desk. I have this is a 60 by 30 inch curved dual motor raised sit stand desk. It was like $250.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best investment. It's fantastic. And I, raise it up, lower it. The motors are bulletproof. Now, I did have my arm on the desk, and it got caught going up, and so it stopped. But then on the way back down, it got caught on a rope, and it grabbed my monitor. So then it forced it up, and it actually broke my shelf.
Oh no!
And I was like screaming because it almost snapped the board right in half because my computer arm was like pushing up on it. So I thought everything was gonna break. It was like crazy in here. But anyways, fantastic desk for $250. It was a steal.
Hey, you're not wrong about the back order. That mobile mount you saw, I had to wait 4 months to get it back in the order
because I mean they gotta make them and they gotta ship them, and I mean they're
popular. The good stuff are popular.
Trust me, I bought from China. I know what it's like, man. You put an order in, and it's gonna be 6 weeks before it comes.
Yep. Hey Travis, thank you for the super chat. FOMO. The only thing that could get me excited about Auro 3D is the potential use for music stereo upmix. I completely agree. Can you test this in a video? I shall. And not only that, so Auro, if you guys have seen my recent videos about home theater and Auro 3D specifically, Auromatic upmixing, their upmixing is easily the best in the business because you can adjust how much of that upmixing you want. And that strength of upmixing allows you to kind of calibrate it to your needs. Whereas Dolby Surround and DTS Neural, it's either on or off. So if you don't like an effect, you can't minimize the effect. Or if you like an effect, you can't max it out either. It's just either on or off. And it's that adjustability that makes the Auromatic potentially usable for everything. So you're watching regular broadcast TV, music, stereo music, right? The lights are off. There's no video. You just want to listen to the music in full 13 channel, 14 channel glory, however speakers you have. The Auromatic was designed for music upmixing before they designed it for video. So they're very proud of the stereo upmixing. So definitely I am going to test it. Not just me. I know Techno Dad's excited about that as well. So yeah, we're all pretty excited about the Auromatic testing. In the US, it's not very popular. So hey, Shane Momo has a follow-up. They said Walmart, giving him that amazing C177-inch deal, they said they would just take the hit. I didn't want to push my luck and ask for the $100 Sam Club's gift card that was promised on there also, Shane. You know what?
And he should have got a guaranteed 5-year warranty and all that. It's like, dude, he's lucky he didn't get thrown out of the store, to be honest. Just take it, Shane. Take it, man. Right. Now, you know what you do, Shane, is you go back and just say, I forgot my receipt, but I was supposed to get a $100 gift card. Right. Boom, there you go.
No, here's the question. For those of you who are married, how many of your wives would demand the $100 gift card that comes with it? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying anything. You don't have to answer.
I mean, my wife would probably say, like, wait, weren't we also supposed to get that $100? I mean, I know we got it. But my wife's so, like, honest. I'm not kidding you. She probably would have been like, we can't accept the price. It's just, it doesn't seem right. She's too, like, she's too honest.
I think many of them are like that. The guys that bought it got out to the cart. Look at this great deal I got at home. I'm not going to drive it back, honey. Come on.
Exactly. No, I mean, if it was listed, we would probably get the price. And she'd be like, no, I mean, if it's listed and they're going to give it to us, we'll take it. But she would feel worse about it. I would be like, score.
All right. We'd be on live stream talking about it and sharing it on Twitter, right?
Yeah. And then like 20 more people show up asking for it.
Agreed. That's good stuff. That's a great win, man. All right. Hey, wasn't Don B one of our winners? My Amazon order for the RuiPro K4 optic cable is ready, out for delivery today. Hey, that's a great one. It's a good price. I mean, I love optical for these long runs. I mean, you don't have much of a choice. I think the only biggest question that you've been getting, Brandon, is can you put it behind a wall, right? That needs a special rating or something like that, or does it matter?
I mean, it does because video. But for this kind of cord, the reason that they have the in-wall rating system is for its ability to withstand damage. Like if the cord was shard by like if it got cut by something in the wall, but it's not going to cause damage to other things. It's not like having a power cord on the wall, which is not in-wall rated in the manner that it could be a fire risk. This cord is not a fire risk in the wall. It's just like you're taking your chance. If you start stringing it up the wall, if you hit a nail, your cord doesn't have the protective jacket to withstand enough of, damage. Therefore, it's not in-wall rated. So, yeah.
Got it. And hey, Nathan wanted you to know, got the Govee immersion lights yesterday.
Cool. Yeah, I put them on the list for, I like those. I haven't actually collaborated with Govee. I'm like, I want to make an accessory video, but I'm too busy. We're busy.
Yeah, we're so busy.
But if you don't mind having like the camera above it, your TV, which is kind of the drawback for me, like, do I want to have a camera sitting there looking down at my, screen? But if that's okay, they're pretty cool. They react, and they even have a microphone, so you can play when the sound comes on, they can react to sound and stuff. They're really cool. And, we have them in the kids' room. I have Govee lights all around the room. And when they play music in there, they go to the beat, and they're pretty awesome.
Yeah. That is, the kids would love that.
Oh, they love their lights. Yeah.
So I'd like to share that the drama continues with Shane and his $1,700 77-inch haul. So he had to rent a U-Haul to pick it up. And the best part was, I believe Classy Tech knows where this Sam's Club is, but he was unable to share it with Classy in time. I'm like, oh, well, that'd be great. So this is pretty funny. This is pretty cool. Ohio, man. That's where it's at.
My in-laws live there. Even they don't want to live there. No, I'm just kidding. They're coming out to visit this week.
Well, what the best part, though, is that you guys know what the price of TVs are. Most of the people go, $16.99, that's too expensive. I'm walking on, right? Not realizing, do you understand? You can flip this and still make money. So, yeah. I agree. This is the deal of the year, not just deal of the day. Hey, Matt, good question. What receivers will have Auromatic? So the cheapest receiver with Auromatic or Auro 3D is the Denon 4700H. I believe it's around $1,700, but you can never get it, or any of the receivers right now. Everything is sold out. We're going to have to wait till the supply constraints ease up. But the least expensive, most affordable Auro 3D AVR out there is the Denon 4700H. Now, that's a 2021 model. I believe older models might have it, so you're going to have to search. I forgot which ones they are. Maybe the 4600H might have it as well. But yeah, Denon has the least expensive receivers with Auro 3D. And of course, everything above that has it. Then the Marantz, similarly, the equivalent to the 4700H will have it. And Yamaha just added it to both of its lines. The A6A and the A8A, the two most expensive ones, will have it as well. And of course, all of the monolith will have, it's the receivers. What you need to know is Anthem receivers do not have Auro 3D. And that's a great disappointment to me, because they are premium. They charge a lot. They should have charged an extra $100 for the Auro 3D, but they felt maybe North American market doesn't want Auro 3D. So the Anthem premium ones do not have it. Just something to keep in mind if you're looking for Auro 3D action. All right. And take this over. All right. So I think that kind of was a quick overview of the show yesterday. I have nothing else on my plate for this live stream. How about you, Brandon? Anything? What's happening with you this week?
Well, no, I was taking today off a bit. This is a nice wind down. I'm glad we did this a little bit, but no, I'm gonna got to get the prize winners, their stuff. Is Don B on here? What did Don B win?
He's right there.
He's got to tell me. Don, save me some time having to go back through all the comments.
There he is.
Don, let me know what you got, Don B. But anyways, he talks about this Wi-Fi 6. I'm in. This is one thing I'm concerned, or I'm thinking about doing is, and you got another chat. I'm thinking about taking this super beastly Wi-Fi back and getting the step below it for like $500, because it's like the 753, which has like, it's like still pretty damn fast. I probably don't need this one for $1,000, but it's already in the house. You know how hard it is to change all your Wi-Fi stuff. So I might just keep it. We'll just do a couple good videos so I get the money back or whatever.
Right. No, the thing with Wi-Fi, it's just a crapshoot. And I'm so glad yours worked, because I might give it a second chance. I don't like the Google Mesh because it doesn't have the reach that I want.
Yeah.
But where it does reach, it works. And that was my
Yeah.
issue with the Orbi is it had the power, but it's just inconsistent. But yeah, when you get a chance, email me your actual model, because maybe I got the wrong model, because I was on Best Buy and it was technically the most expensive one they had, but its reviews were so divergent. Either people loved it, which they had no problems, or they were like me. They all had problems. And it's the same problem. It was a dropout. So
yeah,
hey, Alexander.
I haven't seen that. No, I saw in the reviews that the only people that had issues with this one were that like the app didn't have like enough parental control, or or it was like annoying that they, that's all. But anyways, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, hey, Don said that he wanted a Fire Stick.
Cool, man. Thank you, Don. That's good. I pretty much have everybody then. I just needed to check that.
Or maybe Don will win accidentally.
He's like, actually, I got the H9G, right? I know.
Right.
I was waiting to see how many emails I got that said I was the winner, and then like put fake information in,
You probably would.
Yeah.
Hey, Alexander, thank you for the super chat. Quick question about B's Samsung Art TV video. Does one have to use the One Connect box, or can I just use the built-in smart apps on this TV?
So you know the answer to that too. You have to have the One Connect box. It's the brain of the TV. The behind me, all that is a monitor with no intelligence. It just accepts an incoming signal. So you have to have the One Connect box. I have that One Connect box behind the TV. I did that video where I showed the One Connect box going in the wall, and I showed how to put that box in the wall in my G1 installation video. So go ahead and check those out. But as you can see, it's cool that it does all this art. It's an average TV. It's pretty good. I had someone say that they had to take back the Q90A because they hated how much all the reflections and the prism the
rainbow effect.
And they said that they love that this has a matte screen, and they love this TV. So, and they had like a 75-inch. So it's always just what people like. We try to give you the best information we can.
And that's a really good point. Some people don't realize they hate that rainbow effect until they see the rainbow effect. And it's when your light is at a wrong angle that it becomes most prominent. Yeah. And hey, I didn't know Don B's in San Diego. You know that?
There you go, Don B. Just come over and pick it up, man. I'll bring it over to you. There you go.
I'm in San Diego. Boom.
No, I knew Don sent me a message. I just I hadn't looked back on what he won. So
yeah, carrying over that TV. Hey, Daryl, thanks for the super chat. 950H, 65 inches, 1600, or move up to the TCL 635, 75-inch, 1600. Okay, I would. This is a hard one, only because the R635 is a brighter TV. Well, at least as bright as, possibly brighter, because this was last year's mini LED carried over this year. At 1600, I do like that price a lot. Which one would I choose? Man, the motion of the Sony is a little bit better. So I would probably
a little more blooming on the TCL. Off angle, it looks worse.
That's the thing.
If that 75-inch and you're like off angle, and it's like, the bottom left corner will look kind of like washed out white, or, it's like, and the blooming's pretty, but I don't know. It's a tough call. I know both of them are pretty bright TVs that
they are.
It'd be tough. Isn't the 75-inch of the X950 like it's just a $19.99? Is that the one you showed?
Oh, wait a minute. He's comparing a 65 to the 75.
Yeah.
I go with the 75-inch. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I was thinking they're both 75. Like, what?
Or just go to the X950H and 75, which is about $2,000. That's the deal you showed.
That's the one. So I'm torn if you had the 75-inch versus 75, but at 65, 75, when they're that close, I'd always defer to the 75 because that larger immersion is just that much better. Thank you for that super chat. And here we have Jordan. Hey, thanks for the super chat. For a bedroom, not using a soundbar, is the sound worth $1,000 more on the A90J? Or to save up and get that sound on the A90J, or just go with the A80J? And should I get quality control and calibration? The calibration, non-issue. The A80J is great out of the box, as well as the A90J. QC, I haven't heard of any issues. So Value Electronics says, look, more often than not, they're great. So don't worry about that. It's really the sound. Right. Yeah, and on the 55 especially, right? So now let's talk about the sound. I thought the sound on my 65 A90J is great. I haven't heard complaints of the A80J 55. You have both. Are they close enough that it shouldn't be an issue? Is it worth $1,000?
So, I mean, it's like, it's not $1,000. It's tough to say that that's $1,000 difference. No, it's probably not $1,000 better TV, and the 55 inch, it's very the high. It's the heat sink, not just the sound. So the heat sink and the sound, and that's something that, like, I know Ninjishin AV pointed out, and other people. The heat sink allows you to push it longer, stay brighter longer, and the sound is double the power. So you're going from 30 watts to 60 watts. 60 watts still isn't a ton of power for it, but the fact that the sound comes at you on both of these TVs is already better than most other TVs. I think I would still, an average to better than average soundbar is still better than either one of these in sound. But yeah, you definitely don't need a soundbar with either. So tough to say. I mean, it's really not a great deal on the A90J for 55 inch. It's really expensive. So, but it's still a good TV.
So my suggestion is, although the A80J is on sale, what you would want to do is wait until Black Friday and get the A90J, if you're even considering it. And if you're able to afford that premium, the A90J image quality, I think it's just great. We're talking maybe the last 5%, but this is just such a good TV. Forget the sound part. The A90J is a good TV that it's worth waiting until Black Friday to get. That's what I would do. And thank you, Daryl, for the super chat. Great day yesterday. Thanks for all the hard work. Watch many of your hosts learn so much. Yeah, our guests were great. I learned so much too. Helps make an educated decision. Hey, that kind of brings us to just talking about the future. You guys like this sort of live stream because Black Friday coming up. I'm assuming that people want more of that, right? Because I think these guests are pretty cool.
Yeah, no, we had a lot of cool people. I liked the ratings.com was really awesome. Alex was super fun, and they had a good time having him on. So hopefully, they said once, they still have COVID protocols, so they can't have many people in the office. So they had to.
That's right.
They kind of had to limit it, and they don't do a lot of stuff. So we were very fortunate to have them on, and I think the people in the chat really enjoyed them. And someone asked who won the TV. I think it was like Ted or Theo.
Theo, yeah, I remember that. Theo.
Yeah, he won it. He lives in Ohio too, so all the parties going in TV. It's all the fun is happening in Ohio.
So days. Ohio's got all the good deals for the Sam's Club, right? The TVs are going to Ohio. Classy Tech is from Ohio, so yeah, that's great.
Maybe I can put the TV on my father-in-law's Corvette when he goes back home from out here. I think they're driving their Corvette out here. They did last time. He has a really beautiful handcrafted engine. They hand-built engine Corvette from like 2019 or something. Beautiful car. And maybe I can stick the H9G in his trunk to send him back to Ohio with it.
Agreed. Okay, so we're going to wrap up. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to take this last question because I think it's something to tease you guys into Black Friday. How much do I think the A90J will drop? And I'm assuming by Black Friday, it won't drop too much, unfortunately. Master Series, and again, Sony may be different this year, but if you look at the history of Master Series, in its first year of release, it'll drop a little bit. So there'll be a street price. That's going to stay steady for at least another year. Now, maybe this year will be different, but I don't think so, because look at the A9G. It is still so expensive for what you're getting, and it hasn't dropped in price the first 2 years. It held its price. So, and this being Sony, I don't expect it to drop too much, if at all. So maybe another $100 on Black Friday, maybe $200, but we're not talking what you saw with the A8H, $1,600. That's insanely awesome.
That A9G was like $7,000 for a 77-inch, and it was still $5,000 for a year and a half. And then finally around Black Friday, it went down to like $3,800 or $4,000, and now it's $3,500, and it's the same price as the new A80J. So I wouldn't expect too much.
Oh, I wanted to share this. Remember we talked about Green Toe yesterday? Didn't Mike bring up Green Toe, one of our guests?
Yeah.
He got it. So Nathan got his A90J Green Toe, $3,500, and that's about as good of a discount as you can expect. That's what we call good street prices. That's solid. Now, will it go under 3,000? I doubt it, but that's about the level of discount you're going to see on the street for a while. So thank you for sharing that. Oh, here's a good question for you before we go. Is Samsung no gap mount worth it? Did you ever get a no gap mount for any of the Samsungs?
Yeah, all of them. I mean, all the ones, like the frames all have it. I put it on. I put that TV up on it. So I'd have to say, Flake God, I don't know if it's just going to be flat on the wall. It definitely makes that TV look awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of the no gap, is to make that look super flush. You have to have a recessed power outlet. You have to have, you can't have anything behind it. It is literally against the wall. So, it does look just as good if you buy like a super flat, just tilt mount, or you can buy the Sanus one where it tilts left and right a little bit. So any of those will work. I would say it's worth it if you want it to be that perfect, like frame, like look on the wall. Otherwise, it doesn't look, you can still get a pretty flat looking mount. It'll be an inch or two off the wall.
Agreed. And this is the last message. I think it's important. Phil82 says, get some rest, especially you, be the installer. And with that, thank you everyone for watching. We will all get some rest. Until next time, stop the FOMO.